Hello and welcome to Matt Clewes with, and I am so pleased who I have joining me now. I'm a massive fan of this band, have been for a few years now. Please welcome Emma and Jackson, who are Loote.
What's up? What's up?
Hello.
Hello, how are you guys?
We're good. Very
Amazing,
good.
Good.
amazing. Now, the joys of
No,
Zoom.
I'm always surprised to hear people are fans, even though it's like these come together through like fans of music. I'm like, oh my God, you're a fan? I'm always shocked no matter what.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. It's fun. But before we kick things off, where are you both at the moment?
LA.
You're both
Los
in LA.
Angeles, yeah.
Both in LA. How are
Mhm.
things at the moment out there with all the craziness
Honestly,
going
it's a little gloomy.
on?
I like it.
Today it's a gloomy day.
Oh,
I'm enjoying it.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm quite a northeasterner. I'm from the Northeast.
Northeaster.
And almost New York, yeah. And I was just on the phone with my parents who are in cozy little Boston right now, and I'm like, I can't wait to get home for Thanksgiving. But right now,
I'm
LA
home
is just
too.
hunky dory, you know. So
I didn't know you were going home.
oh yeah, I'm going home. I'm going home for Thanksgiving. I'm staying all the way through Christmas. I got a home studio there, so yeah.
This is the first I'm hearing of this today. Can you believe this? Like, we're like literally a band, and I had no idea this was happening until right now.
I feel like I'm
Yeah.
getting involved in something here that.
No, but
No,
LA's good.
I'm going home for Thanksgiving as well. My family's coming here actually in
Amazing.
January.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot going on then at the moment.
Yeah. I guess we both have a lot happening right now.
Obviously, you've got a single coming out, which we'll chat about very soon as well. But first of all, for those who don't know who you are, crazy people, how did you guys meet?
Emma, you can tell it.
Met you in college. We met in college. That's actually a song that we wrote. Jackson wrote most of it.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Working out. That we constantly debate whether we should put out because it's really good and neither of us ever knows what to do with it. I don't know. Is my internet being weird right now? I can't tell.
No, you're good.
You're all good.
Okay.
You're all good.
It's just on my end. I keep like freezing. We met in college in a songwriting class. We got paired together for this random assignment at the beginning of the year because we both were at school for music. And our teacher didn't know our names yet. And so we happened to be sitting next to each other, and he just paired people based on where they were sitting. And we were awesome, and like we made the best song ever. Literally we knew each other for like 5 minutes. What?
Now considered to be the worst song ever.
I still don't think that's the worst song, actually.
At the time, it was literally the best thing
I bet
that I'd ever made.
Like, it was the best thing that I'd heard.
A mile. I was like, I've peaked. It's never gonna happen again. No, the first time we like literally got paired together for a homework assignment.
Yeah.
Like we didn't really know each other. We had said hello. Essentially, that's about it. And I was like, "Yo, let's go write a song for a homework assignment." And we went up to the studio right after class, which is like all in the music building at SUNY Purchase College, which is like 45 minutes out of Manhattan. And Emma was 17. I was 20. So like literally baby. Like I can't even, it's crazy because like my younger brother who I live with is 22 or 23. And I'm like, oh my God, he's 5 years older than Emma was when we met, which is crazy because he's, yeah. Anyway, right away, Emma was like, oh, I had this idea, and sings this chorus. And I was like, that's the best thing I've ever heard. And and I was like, I have the, like,
Jackson.
Go ahead, yeah.
Did you think, I've never asked you this before, I don't think.
Oh.
Did you think that I was gonna have a good idea?
I didn't think it was gonna be that good. I didn't know. Like I knew that Emma was like obviously the one, like had an incredible voice and had like a knack for pop music naturally, just like because we had heard each other sing probably a week before, and we had like collaboration crushes on each other. Like I was like, I kind of want to work with her, and she was like, I kind of want to work with him, but we didn't really know each other.
We're both shy.
Yeah, we were both yeah. Anyway, so like right away, made a song for homework assignment, brought it in and played it for the class. And our professor, who is like a very connected, established guy, who like signed and developed like Rihanna and Chantel and like a lot of other writers and producers. He was like, you guys should keep writing together. And that relationship turned into like our kind of foot in the door moment for the industry, really, and like blossomed into a ton more things and publishing deals and all that. So yeah, that's how we met, basically.
Yeah.
Not a bad homework assignment, I suppose.
No, the
Not
best
the
part
worst.
about it too is like I'm like very like I try to be very pragmatic about like opportunities. So I'm like, no, this professor's connected, and he's like, yeah, you guys should write more songs. And so I go up to Emma, who's 17. I'm like, hey, so like if we were like in like a part-time job, like we probably work 20-30 hours a week. So do you want to write like 30 hours a week together? We didn't know each other at all. Like, cause I'm like, okay, like student and part-time job would be like 30 hours. Let's think of it like that. And we just like, she was like, yeah, sure. She didn't know what that was. So we just like,
I had never worked in a job.
each other and just started spending like, 30 hours a week together writing full time right away. Cause I was like, I have to capitalize on this.
So what did,
I lost like a lot of friends. I'm not gonna lie. Like I had no friends.
Oh,
But who cares? I'm happy now. Like, it's all good. But
exactly.
I had no life except working with you.
So did you like what were you doing at the time then? Obviously you were both, in that moment, but did you have plans to go elsewhere, sort of other things that you wanted to do?
I didn't. I was kind of trying on the track to like get my foot in the door in the music business as a pop songwriter, producer, and potentially artist too. And Emma was, well, yeah, a little more.
I don't know. I just wanted to like do something. I know, like I always knew I wanted to do music, and that's what I wanted to do. And I didn't, like I had always wanted to be an artist. I know Jackson always like had that in the back of his head as well. But Jackson was much more goal oriented, and I was like, if this is going to happen, I need to be in a position to like make connections. And that's like why I went to our school, because I knew that there were like guest teachers and like people that could help me. And I knew that I didn't know how to do a lot of stuff and I needed to learn a lot. But I also knew that like going to our school, I wouldn't feel bad if I didn't graduate. Like it's not expensive for me because I grew up in New York. So it's a state school. So
Right.
So Jackson grew up in Boston outside of New York. And so, it's like a different price for people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
it was really a good like opportunity for me to like get my foot in the door, so to speak, and get my bearings, working with other people. I'd never really done that. And so I went there being like, all right, Emma, you have 3 goals. Like, and I like tried to set them for myself. I was like, okay, 1, start like finding a producer to work with, like find people you enjoy like hanging out with, and also like you need this teacher to like remember your name at the end of the year. And like those 3 things happened in like 2 weeks, and I was like, well, fuck, sorry, I don't know if we can curse, but I was like, well, like, all right, I guess the whole goal thing works, huh? And like, then we just kind of kept going from there. Like,
Yeah. And now you're and now you're here. So for me, I first heard Your Side of the Bed and I was hooked. Literally, I thought it was an absolute tune. How did you find your sound?
It was nice, I think, because we started out as songwriters. And by that I mean songwriters for other artists, like pitching and writing songs for other artists, with the ultimate plan to, hopefully do, both, juggle both. And at times when one of them is, more time consuming than the other, being able to lean into each one another, and we've spent more time definitely on Loote stuff than pitch stuff in the past like 3 or 4 years, which is a good thing, obviously. But because we were writing for other artists, like when we for the first 2-3 years of us like being collaborators together, we were able to like just like write all the different stuff. When you're writing for pitch, you can be like, oh, we want to write a dancehall song that sounds like a Rihanna record today, or today we want to write a song that sounds like a Disney record. Like you can just do so many different things, and you're not limited to a sound. So it allowed us to do a little trial and error. And the first song that we wrote, which we were like, okay, this is a Loote song for the Loote Artist Project, was High Without Your Love. And like we knew right when we wrote it too, like, okay, this is special and it needs to be that. And it just it was really trial and error. Like we got to try a bunch of different stuff, and we landed on one that was just like felt like us. So I guess that's kind of how, I don't know, Emma, does that sound about right?
Yeah,
or
I mean, we at one point I mean, look at that little bad boy behind you to the, well, I don't know whether it's going to be left or right when this is up, but I think it's your right.
Yeah.
That little bad boy over there, that at one point, No Promises, we had our voices on it, and
Yeah.
manager, Russell, who wasn't really our manager yet,
Yeah.
had started like seeding it to like, you know, other like music blogs and stuff, and like seeing if it would get any traction before we like knew Cheat Codes did it for real, like before we knew that they were doing it, and
Yeah.
like nobody responded to it.
We were
And so
thinking
we were
of
like,
putting it
oh,
out. Yeah.
cool.
We had blogs, and I'm not going to say the name of them, obviously. I mean, but it makes sense, like, because we
It
were
was, like,
nobodies.
multiple,
We had
yeah.
blogs
Yeah.
that, like, the same writer that we sent it to was like, hey, this is cool, not interested. Like, did the write-up on
Really?
that song when it was cheat.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. Like, this is Demi Lovato and Cheat Codes. And we're like, I don't know who Loote is, or I don't know what a Lute is. So thank you very
I
much.
don't know what a
Cool
loot
song.
is.
You know, like, it makes sense. But yeah, that was, yeah, we thought about putting it out. Because we wrote it, and it didn't come out for probably 8 or 9 months after we wrote it. These things take a little while, and they're always uncertain. You never really know what's going to happen, and yeah, sometimes they work out.
Yeah. And obviously, I saw that you had a hand in Zara Larsson's "Ruin My Life" as well.
Yeah.
How did that
That's the
sort of
other
come
one.
about?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
one.
now I can see it on the left or the right. Who knows?
I'm a very
Yeah.
good advocate.
Okay, yeah. So here's the thing. I lent my studio. I'm in a home studio here. I lent it to my roommates when I was home last summer, and I kept the plaques like in a stack on the wall over there, not hung up. And as a thank you gift, they hung up my plaques, which is very nice. But I realized this is where I've always sat for Zoom, like in like meetings or anything, and like I sat down. I was like, I look like the biggest jerk. I'm like, what's up? My name's Plaquefoot. How's it going? What's up?
Plaque and
Anyways.
foot.
No, but that one I didn't write on. I actually just produced it. So Michael Pollack and Lacey and Serm wrote the song, and they just sent it to me. And we've known Michael Pollack for a while, and DeLacy too. And I was just like, this is incredible, and I will do anything to be a part of this. So he was like, hey, take a whack at the production. And I was with Monsters and Strangers at the time, and we all just kind of hit it together. And they were like, yeah, this feels like the right one. I think a lot of people had worked on it because they just sent a piano vocal, and I was in love with it immediately. I was like, thank you for letting me try that. So yeah, that was that one.
For me, I feel like your writing is so like honest, and just how you just don't really. It's like everything you say just seems straight to the point, and you're just saying what you think, which is great, and I think it works so well. Is that a sort of a fair representation of when you're writing songs? Is there anything in your head in particular?
I think that's pretty on the money.
Giving us a little too much credit, probably, but
I mean, in the sense of like a lot of it's rooted in stuff that we are actually going through, and like things that we just kind of feel like it's a lot easier to sing about than it is to talk about. Whether that's like love or anxiety or mental health or whatever it is, like the state of the world and the universe and how tiny we feel. Like, it comes from a place, and I think that between Jackson and I, we have always been able to find this place that is right in the middle of the two of us. I'm all over the place, always, as you can tell by the like everything about me. And Jackson's like very to the point, and I think that the mix of those two things together really does work, especially in pop music. It's like the perfect midpoint between saying exactly what you mean and feel and saying something that's a little bit more elaborate, like artistic, taking risks in terms of like avant-gardeness. Or I don't even know what you know what I'm saying though. Like
yeah, I know what you mean.
It's like not necessarily what it means, but you know what it's saying. Like, you know, this is how you feel versus something like Tomorrow Tonight, where like they both feel very special in different ways. And like you might not know what I mean when I'm saying it, but you know what I mean because the way that I'm singing it,
you know what the feeling is,
emotions
behind it. Usually I feel like our like waves of music, whether it's in a string of singles or like an EP or whatever, like usually they are just kind of reflective of whatever's going on in each of our personal lives. And sometimes each of our personal lives are kind of weirdly aligned and sometimes they're not. But usually there's always a little bit of like, I'm writing, I have this idea. It's kind of more about your life. And, oh, she has this idea that's kind of more about my life. It's like a little bit of that in there,
It's usually Jackson writing about me.
Yeah, I guess.
I'll remember that when I next hear your track.
More of an emotional roller coaster. No, honestly,
Yeah.
we both are, but yeah. So I think it's like, we found that it's easiest like to write about real stuff than make up stories. And pop music can be both a lot of times, but that's, I guess, just how it's come out. Yeah,
Definitely.
Like Your Side of the Bed is a very, very true story. That's all.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes,
I think so many people can just sort of like just realize their own situations in those moments, which is why it works so well. David Guetta. I want to talk David Guetta. How did all that come about with Better When You're Gone?
That one.
I still don't fully know. I'm not gonna lie.
That one was us, Emma, and me, Emma, Kinetics, and Ito, who both of whom we work with a good amount. Kinetics we worked with a ton. He's kind of like he's like the third piece of Loote, honestly.
Really?
He's a songwriter, and he just, like, we've been working with him doing pitch records, and we wrote like probably 5 of the 7 songs on our first EP with him. Like, it was just, we were kind of the squad. So we wrote High Without Your Love, Out of My Head, Tomorrow Tonight, Lost, like so many more. That's just like off the top of my head. And Better When You're Gone as well with him. So we were in the studio, us and Ito, and I think we were just, I don't even remember how it came about. It was like one of these, like, everybody's jumping around the room and we're playing the loop and somebody just sings like no 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 no, and we were all like, yo. That was kind of it. And then we had no lyrics on it, and the next day we came in and put lyrics to it.
I think it was like the end of a session too.
Yeah. Some days you come in and you swing and miss like 4 times, and then at the end of the session, we call them Hail Marys. This wasn't a proper Hail Mary, but where you just kind of like just send it and like see like, okay, half an hour, what can we get done? And it was kind of that, because we were just, screw it, let's just see what happens.
It was supposed to be that. It was supposed to be like one of those half-hour things, and then we got something that we really liked, and then we kind of kept going because we liked it.
And
then that's what I remember, at least.
We had a full produced version of it too, and then we were like, oh, David Guetta's working on it. We were like so excited, had no idea, and then he just like played it live like one day. Like, it was just like, David Guetta drops new song with feature, and it was like, who is it, like Selena Gomez? And we were like, no, because Emma's voice was pitched up. We didn't even know if he was taking the song yet, you know what I mean? But he was like, hey, just played at a festival, and we were like, sick, okay, awesome.
Wow. We found all these weird videos on YouTube. Like, I was like, is this coming out or what?
We were like, it was cool though, because like the hype was building around it. So we were like, dude, like, play it all you want, as long as you put it out, we're happy. You know, like, sometimes it just happen in crazy ways, and that's like kind of the fun, like, of like music business. Like, it's just like, it's like controlled chaos, but sometimes just uncontrolled chaos. That kind of,
that was one Hail Mary then that definitely got caught in the end zone pretty well. So to speak. Okay, so you got 2 singles coming out. First one, Pushing Daisies, is out now. It will be by the time this goes out. What's that about? Talk to us about
that. That I started writing. I was having a really weird time during. I mean, everyone was. This the whole year. But I was having a strange time trying to write something that didn't feel like, for lack of better words, stupid. Like, I just didn't feel like anything I was doing at the beginning of like the whole quarantine was good. And like, I'm used to that feeling, and like then being able to get over it and like be like, no, whatever, who cares if Jackson hates it, that's fine, like, you've got like 20 other things that you're doing. But like, for the first time, I was like, wow, I like don't have a lot of stuff in my brain right now. It's hard to feel creative and like productive. And then all of the protests happened in June. And there's this weird dynamic of like everyone being very scared of everything, but everyone also feeling the need to like seriously speak up about actually important things other than just a pandemic, which is important, but in the grand scheme of things, I feel like civil rights is more important. And I just started watching all of these things unfolding around me. I mean, there were days where there was no quiet at all through the whole day. Like where I was living specifically was between two of the big streets that had protests on them.
Right.
And between like Melrose Avenue being like totally messed up and burnt, and like then on Sunset, like peaceful sit-in protests in the middle of the street, I just felt stuck, and I was terrified to go outside because I didn't want to get anyone I knew sick. And I also wanted to do something to help, and I felt like I couldn't, and I didn't know how, and I felt weird speaking for people because that was never something that I did on our platform. I know Jackson feels the same way about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, at some point I feel like it's just it boils down to like this is just objectively right and wrong, and like like it's just hard to really say, you know, you shouldn't speak on this or have a voice when it's just like you can't really argue that this isn't even a debate. Like one is right and one is wrong, and no matter what your position is or what your standpoint is, like you can have a voice on this, you know, despite how much it's directly affected you or affected those people around you or just the country that you live in. And I think like Pushing Daisies, like it came from a little bit of a place of like not really feeling like love songs, you know, like our music's kind of a reflection of how we're feeling, and when the top of your mind is not about love or romance or you know your personal life, like it's hard to write about that. So that's kind of what we turn to. And for me, like it's kind of resonated with more of like we've just grown up during like a ton of different bullshit that's been going on, and like just there's like a thing where you become desensitized to just kind of like the chaos and the dysfunctionality. I don't even know if that's a word, like how dysfunctional things can be. And like, it's kind of something that is like normalized, you know, which, you know, is what it is, I guess. So, but it just like, we kind of just want to talk about like, ever since I was 18 means like, well, as soon as I became an adult, shit just kind of went haywire in our world. And it's been one thing after the next, you know, and it feels weird singing about, you know, love or my personal life when all this is going on. And kind of one of the lines in there is like, is singing the wrongs a disservice? Like, am I even like, is this even necessary for me to say this? It's conflicted. Everything about it is, because a lot of times people want to help situation. They just don't know how or don't know what to do. So
they think they're helping, but they come across wrong.
Yeah. And everybody's
that's also something that I feel happens all the time, especially now. Everyone's so quick. Like, cancel culture is a thing because people A, are on the internet and have nothing better to do, and B, people who sometimes do mean well don't do it the right way, and that's also not helpful for a lot of people.
And we're worried to come, like everybody's worried to come across that way, and like, you know, especially in art, like we're worried too, but like at some point I just like, I think we both just feel like it's just objectively a matter of like of right and wrong and good and bad. And so that's the first song that's not like, that's kind of more on the just like political world view thing than anything we put out. And it just felt like right, and it felt like there wasn't really a love song. Like even the song that we have coming after it is really more about like the value of friendship and how precious that is, and like
our siblings.
Yeah, siblings, really. It's about family and friendship, and like how precious that is, and how like lucky those, you know, we are to have those things, you know. So it's like, this time there hasn't been a ton about love, and I'm sure we'll go back to writing a lot about those type of things, but like you said, like it's just kind of reflection. It's either like this is critical and it's total chaos, or like we're looking at the wholesome, happy side of things. That's the two next songs.
So. Well, let's hope that obviously things get back to some sort of what we're used to very soon. We can only
what are we
hope.
Used to? We're used to this, so I don't know where it's going.
I know. I'm like, do I ever leave my house again? Or but, just kidding. I'm going to Jackson's house today, actually.
There we go.
But for the most part. Yeah.
Back in May, I saw that you posted a picture saying you wanted to start a petition to get you a part on Riverdale.
Once again, before all the protests, just like to point that out. When I was doing
when
nothing,
things like that were important.
Yeah.
Are you fans?
I am definitely.
Emma's a fan.
It was one of the few things I was watching during all of this because I was like, wow, there's 4 seasons of this.
Yeah.
I can get into something and it won't leave me in 3 days. Like, I need things to get me by every day, you know?
Yeah.
It's been like 3 months of stuff. Actually, I guess May was like, no, 3 months, yeah. By the end of May, it was like 3 full months of just like sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah.
And like Jackson and I did not see each other until June.
Which is the first time that's happened in about 6 years.
We've known each other for 7 years, dude.
Yeah, 7 years. And that was the longest we've gone without seeing each other.
Yeah, I think these are the longest times that we've gone without seeing each other.
Yeah.
Even when we go on vacation, it was for like maybe 3 weeks. And then we were like,
Yeah.
okay, cool, let's get back into it. All the time we missed, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yeah.
never have I ever been so isolated from like my main collaborator. It's crazy. But anyway, back to Riverdale. A nice, fun, happy thing. Which, if you've seen that show, is great because you know it's not. But yeah, I love Riverdale. I grew up reading Archie comics. I essentially learned to read, like reading Betty and Veronica. So I love that stuff. I'm a huge fan. Still definitely would be like super happy if someone put me on that show, but I feel like that's not gonna happen now because
You never know. You never know. If you could pick one person to be in that show, who would you be?
Ooh, I have no idea. I feel like I'd want to be Cheryl Blossom just because she's dope. Like, she's the best bitch ever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's just so good at being bad.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Just does what she wants.
I don't care. Give me a walk-on role. I'll literally say nothing. I don't care. I just want to be there. I'm good.
Love it. So who are you guys like proper digging right now? Favorite artists? Absolutely anyone?
Ooh, I gotta look at my Spotify.
Yeah, Jackson's like much more up to date on his like new artist game. I'm like very bad at that stuff.
Oh really?
Jackson, who did you show me? Like, Holly.
Right now, Holly Humberstone. We've been both kind of on Holly Humberstone. She's incredible.
Yeah,
I know she's a great artist. I'm selfishly gonna say that artist that I'm working with, a ton named Wolf, is one of my favorite to listen to right now. Who is like brand new artist that I've been kind of working with a bunch. I'm like obsessed with her music, but that's probably why we started working together, because I was obsessed with her music. So you should check her out. I'm looking at my Spotify right now. Sometimes I go through phases where I'm really into like a band, and sometimes I go through phases where I'm just into like random songs. Like right now, I've been listening to Head in the Heart so much, like 20 times a day, and I've been listening to the Ruel and Cautious Clay songs say it over like a gazillion times a day. And a little bit of Phoebe Bridgers. Bridgers, is that how you say her last name? Yeah. Phoebe Bridgers. And then like 1975, Always and Forever are my favorite band. That's like Emma's like the 21 Pilots, and I'm like 1975.
Yeah.
Like I work with Maddie Healy. That's kind of stuff. I'm really into Aries, who's a dope.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jackson loves Aries.
Yeah, I'm really he's I don't know when he's putting out new stuff, but he's really dope. I guess that's kind of it right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Amazing. So one final question. It's a big question, and who knows when it's going to happen, but when are you hoping to hit the road again, and who knows, maybe even come to the UK? Just put it out there.
Well, if we go to the UK right now, we won't be allowed back into America. So.
No, that's true. That is true.
Let's see if the world starts to return normal on November 3rd, if, we have somebody with a brain in office. I said it. Sorry. I don't think.
No, it's fine.
But,
I mean, we're all thinking
hopefully,
it.
If I offended any Trump supporters, I'm sorry. I hope you still like our music.
I got my ballot. I got it in the mail.
Look at that.
I already sent mine in.
Well,
late.
I got mine yesterday. Okay.
Yeah. But anyways, I have we did have our first headline tour booked, and it was like probably over half of the venues were gonna sell out. It was looking like it was small, like between 3 and 500 cap rooms, mostly 9 cities in the U.S. And it was like a huge thing. You know, it was scheduled for April, so obviously it was canceled. And we were
It's gonna be April and May.
it was April and May. We were so excited. And you know, but so we're just doing what we've always done, which is write a ton of songs and put out music and just try to, you know, stay active and communicate with our fans and let them know that as soon as we possibly can, we're gonna rebook and, you know, and get back out there. So
luckily now, our drummer and musical director lives with Jackson because it's Jackson's brother. So
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
it's actually easier for us to be
Yeah.
able to, when everything's like relatively normal-ish.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Honestly,
a lot easier for us to get stuff done in that regard.
yeah, because I know, like, are people playing shows in the UK?
No,
No.
we're not going to have everyone who's announcing tours at the moment. Literally is announcing stuff for back end of 2021.
Yeah.
So who knows?
That's what's happening here.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, everyone's announcing stuff for 2021, and I'm like,
Yeah.
when?
I was
Like,
with,
how?
yeah, I was with, yesterday Griffin was here and we were finishing a song and he
Oh,
was like,
is that your
I
song?
had like, yeah, he was like, he said he had like over 100, more than that, even like shows booked for 2020. I'm like, oh my gosh, like real, like it's crazy. People who really tour like, you know, 100 to 150 shows a year, you know, shows a week, like that's, I'm like, so many people have been affected, but like, you know, we've always done 50-50 kind of writing for other artists, which you can just do from home and send emails and hopefully get cuts. So it's different for us than it is for full-time, like people who just tour all the time, which, you know, where we'd want to be eventually, you know, that's the ultimate goal.
Touring, like tour managers, crews, like that is their livelihood.
But anyway, end of 2021, hopefully, as soon as we can, as soon as it's safe and it feels responsible. So yeah, hopefully soon.
The other thing that we might mess with doing a little bit, potentially more like next year, since I just found out Jackson's leaving for Thanksgiving and Christmas, which means that his brother is too. Maybe we might try to figure out what.
You will be here actually.
Oh, well then, screw
you.
you. I'll just hang out with Colin. Maybe we'll try to figure out how to do like a virtual thing because a lot of people are doing that now, and if it's something that we can do, I think it'd be better than just nothing.
Yeah, definitely.
It would be better.
Well,
yeah.
Fingers crossed one day, and hopefully soon you can come over to the UK because need to see you live, which would be really cool. Thank you so much.
We played one show there. Yeah.
Our live show is a fucking blast. It is.
Our live show in London was so fun.
Yeah.
I need to be there. I can't believe I wasn't there.
Story for another time. What we had to go through.
Yeah.
With our live, like all of our gear, they wouldn't let us fly with it, and we were like, okay.
What?
We showed up and we were like, we need all these things. And like literally, like it was the jankiest thing ever. But for another time, we pulled it off though. Like it was pure chaos getting it together, and then we just absolutely crushed the show, and it was so fun.
It's the way to do it.
It was so much more rewarding knowing all the stuff that happened beforehand.
Anyway,
it's the way to do it. It's the way to do it. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I literally could probably talk to you all day, but you've probably got things to do. So,
I gotta get to the house. That's it.
I guess so.
Hopefully soon, as I say, I get a chance to see you guys over here. But until then, thanks so much for joining me. And all the best.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for having us. It's so fun to eat meat, and chat and talk about all this stuff. So
amazing. Thank you, both of you.
Thank you.